Oh boy, what does it mean? Boy, I don't even think about that kind of stuff.
At 54, Alison Krauss reveals why she divorced him, and it's bad. For decades, Alison Krauss has been the embodiment of control. Her voice, clear, weightless, and haunting, has earned her 27 Grammy Awards, making her one of the most decorated artists in music history. She transitioned from a bluegrass child prodigy to a global icon, crossing genres with Robert Plant and becoming a pillar of the Grand Ole Opry. On paper, her life is a near-perfect masterpiece. But behind the scenes, away from the spotlights and the silver trophies, one part of her world never quite found its footing. In 2001, her marriage to musician Pat Bergeson quietly came to an end. For years, the public accepted the standard narrative: touring schedules, distance, and two lives moving in different directions. However, at 54, Krauss is finally peeling back the curtain. What she has revealed suggests a truth far more complicated than creative differences. Today at Prestige Buzz, we're diving into the untold story of her rise, her silent battle with health, and the real reason her marriage fell apart. The foundation of a virtuoso. Alison Maria Krauss was born in Decatur, Illinois, into a home where discipline and creativity lived side by side. Her father, Fred, was a German immigrant who became a psychologist. Her mother, Louise, was an illustrator with Italian roots. In the Krauss household, art wasn't a hobby, it was a way of life. While her brother Victor gravitated toward jazz, Alison was nudged toward the classical violin at age 5. She didn't love it at first. In fact, she spent years dragging her feet to lessons. But by 12, the virtuoso label was already being whispered. The turning point came when she discovered bluegrass. Unlike the rigid structure of classical music, bluegrass gave her room to breathe. She could hear a complex riff once and immediately make it her own. By 13, she was winning championships. By 16, she had signed with Rounder Records and released her debut album. She didn't chase fame, she simply stood still and let the world find her. The silent battle, losing the voice. In the mid-2000s, Krauss was at the height of her powers. Her collaboration with Robert Plant on Raising Sand was a cultural phenomenon. But then, the silence began. Between 2011 and 2017, Alison virtually disappeared. The reason was a terrifying condition called dysphonia. For a singer whose identity is wrapped in vocal precision, it was a nightmare. Her throat would tighten without warning. In 2015, during a show in Utah, she opened her mouth to sing the first verse, and nothing came out. Just a hollow, public silence. She eventually realized the problem wasn't just physical, it was a singer's block rooted in mental weight and emotional suppression. She had spent so long being in control that her body finally rebelled. Her solution was as strange as it was effective: she began shouting to reset her vocal cords. To this day, before she hits those angelic high notes, she often goes outside and yells at a tree to release the tension. The imposter in the silence. The silence was so profound that it invited a dark coincidence. In 2013, while Alison was struggling to speak, a woman was arrested for identity theft. This woman had convinced an elderly man that she was the real Alison Krauss. Because the real Alison hadn't been seen or heard in public, the lie took root. The imposter managed to drain the man's savings and even had a house signed over to her before she was caught. It was a chilling reminder: Alison's voice was so powerful that even its absence left a hole large enough for a criminal to live in. The whirlwind marriage to Pat Bergeson. Alison Krauss handles her love life the same way she handles her music, with extreme privacy. So, when she met guitarist Pat Bergeson in 1996, the world barely had time to blink. They didn't have a long, publicized courtship. Within a month of meeting, they were married on December 8, 1996. Pat was a fellow musician who understood the language of the industry. For a while, it seemed like the perfect match. In 1999, they welcomed their son, Sam. But intensity has a shelf life. By 2001, just 5 years after that whirlwind wedding, the marriage was over. Alison was granted full custody of Sam, and she immediately retreated into a shell of protection. Why she divorced him, the reveal at 54. For 20 years, Alison stayed silent about the split. She didn't want to be a victim, and she didn't want her son to grow up in the shadow of a public feud. But recently, she has hinted at why she walked away so decisively. The bad part of the story isn't a single explosive event, but a fundamental realization of emotional isolation. Alison has admitted that she lived her life with such rigid control that she couldn't be vulnerable. In her marriage, that translated to a lack of footing. The speed at which they married meant they didn't build a foundation capable of handling the weight of 2 high-pressure careers and a new child. When she says it's bad, she's referring to the realization that she was performing even when the cameras were off. She divorced Pat not because of a lack of love, but because she realized the marriage was another stage where she had to maintain perfection. She chose divorce to save herself from a life of pretense. Today, Alison is at peace. She's found her voice again, both musically and personally. She chose stability over spectacle, and her son Sam remains the center of her universe. What do you think of Alison Krauss's journey and her brave decision to prioritize her mental health over her public image? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of a legend, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Prestige Buzz. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you never miss an update on your favorite stars.